is.
Listen, learn, and succeed with VO Radio. It's here for you.
Hi. I was way too early. I was so excited to talk to you guys. I'm like, hi, we're here. Welcome to the show. Okay, it is definitely a Monday. Welcome to Let's Talk VO. We're here live, and on the panel with us, we have Bev Standing, whose feature is Inside the Booth. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Yay, the crowd goes wild. We have Steve Ward, who just popped on. Hello, Steve.
Hello, Stephen. Welcome aboard.
Awesome. Glad you could join us. And we have Anthony Reese, and he has Business Sense and maybe some new features and like a ton of features, actually. And myself, Stacey Barrow.
And Peter Drew is supposed to be joining us. Maybe he's running late. We're not sure, but if he hops on, cool. Awesome.
Yes, that would be very great. So Peter with hot mic, and hope he pops on a little bit. So again, I'm Stacey Barrow, and my feature is Top of Mind. So what we have going on, did you know we have 6 different ways that you can reach us, among probably a couple of others that I haven't thought of, but we have 6 different ways. I mean, that's like a lot of ways. So you can do like Steve Ward did and pop on and Zoom with us. If you don't feel like doing it quite that way and everything, you can actually call via Zoom too, if you want to do that. You can text us at 970-682-3424. That's 970-682-3424. And you can ask us questions in some other kind of ways, like ask and record a question button. You can use the app if you want. There's a little info icon. You click on that, then you click on another little email icon, and that'll email us, or ask@voradioonline.com. And I was trying to think, how else would you communicate with us?
Right. The most popular is the text and the email for sure, by far. We'd like to have people Zoom in and be part of it visually because we're simulcasting on YouTube. Hello, all of you out there. And or call in via the Zoom links on the Let's Talk VO page on the website. You can find those links and stuff there. But definitely, like you were saying, people love the text and email. I think people like to remain a little bit anonymous. Not many people want to be on video or audibly. They like to send them because we get texts and emails, as we'll be addressing here in a few minutes. So, yeah.
Right. And yeah, it's all about whatever you can do and whatever's easiest for you. We're here no matter what. So you do whatever you feel like at that moment. And we're here to talk about whatever you want to talk about. I'd like to thank our sponsors. We've got VoiceOver Extra, the VoiceOver Resource Guide, also known as the VORG. We've got the VoiceOver Collective and Nava. And so let's go for a question. Let's go for a VO question.
You're listening to VO Radio. The views, opinions, and insights shared are not necessarily those of other panelists, guests, and contributors on VO Radio and its broadcast programs. Advice, tips, opinions, and legal suggestions are based on industry experience of the individual co-host, panelist, guest, or contributor. These opinions and comments are not endorsed by or verified by VO Radio and its operators. Listener discretion is advised.
The best music ever made.
If you're like most voice talent today, you're wondering various things relating to your voiceover career. Well, VO Radio has your answers. Here's more questions answered by our panelists live on Let's Talk VO here on VO Radio.
Listen and learn. Internet radio for the voice artist, just like you.
Okay, I'll jump right in real quick before I hand it back to you. Sonny wrote in and asked, when are you guys going to be doing the Name That Voice thing? Yeah, we're going to be doing that I think it's in the second block, if I remember correctly. So Sonny, thanks for writing that in. Let all the listeners and viewers know they stick around because we do have that coming up, as Stacey might have mentioned. If not, back to you, Stacey. Want to set up the question for us today and this time?
Oh, great. And yeah. I was supposed to say, yeah, we have, who's that voice later? Okay, Thomas from Kentucky. I'm a musician. Are there still jobs singing or doing jingles as a voice artist? Ooh, Thomas. Okay, that's great. Are there still jobs singing or doing jingles as a voice artist? Yes. And in fact, someone I know, a fellow voice actress, I mean, I don't know a lot about it because I don't sing in any kind of a way that I'd want to tell anyone about, but I am exploring one avenue. She took a class singing as your character and singing for character voices. And what an interesting thought. I never really thought about that before, and how to be consistent as your character uh, singing, which is different than if you were singing for something else. So that's something that I kind of want to explore, because I could do that as a character, but as me personally, no. But yes, I think there's definitely a market for it. And in fact, another comment is that showcase that I went to recently, the LA showcase. Some of them performing their pieces on Zoom chose to do a singing piece. And that was very interesting. And they were very, very well received, because things come up, and I think it's very useful. I'm gonna pass this to you, Bev. What do you think about this?
I knew you'd send it to me.
Right.
I want to say that I'm going to come at it from a different angle. I want to say yes, because there are a lot of jingles that are singing. And if you just sing and have no training as a voice actor, then touch base with somebody who does a demo for commercial jingles. And I guarantee you there are people out there that do them. I do not know specifically anyone, so I can't make a recommendation. But I can guarantee you put on TV, watch the commercials, there's always somebody singing. There's that audio repetition that want you to have, da 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 ba ba.
That's right.
Right? That's somebody. Now, what I will say is there are a lot of voice actors that have a music background. And so if they're in with an agent and they go, hey, I mean, you've seen the auditions, if you can sing, audition for this one. So there's an overlap there that might be taking your spot unless you get yourself a demo and can promote yourself accordingly. So I will say yes, but I think you need to do it the right way. One of my very first jobs, well, very early on, I sang as a little kid. I couldn't reach.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it was so much fun. It was for a little doll called Water Babies. And I sang in the audition and they said, this is great, and took that. And I went, oh, thank heavens. But it's not something, it's not something I do, but I know lots and lots and lots of voice actors who can sing.
Absolutely.
So if you want to do jingles, just market yourself. I think there is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And, I'll jump in and say for Thomas and anybody else listening. And actually, we had another person write that in last week. And I think about 3 or 4 weeks ago, we had somebody ask a similar thing. There's a variety of reasons as a voice actor, voice talent, whatever you want to call yourself. And by the way, welcome Cindy Burns joining us along with Steve. We're here. There's a lot of reasons as a voice talent, voice actor, voiceover talent in general, you want to have the ability to sing vocally. You can be asked to sing a line or two at the end of a spot you're doing. You could be asked to do a jingle. You could be asked to sing a part in a cartoon voice, especially if you're doing animation, gaming, what have you. There may be times you have to be able to step up. Does that mean you have to necessarily be a singer, vocalist, trained vocalist? Not necessarily, but you want to have the ability to carry a tune. So there's definitely something to be said about being able to practice on your own. Not necessarily have to work with a vocal coach and go out and get singing lessons, but it's definitely advantageous if you have the ability to go back to your early days, high school, drama, your Sunday choir. Maybe you sing part at your church. Maybe you sing a little bit in the shower. Maybe you can carry a tune with your favorite Zeppelin song or Celine Dion or whatever have you. You can carry a tune. It's definitely something you want to work on becoming good at. I, for one, at VO 101, and I know other guys do as well, and gals, do create singers or jingles, and we do create singing demos for people. And there is a radio market and a broadcast TV market still for jingle houses. They're not as many as there were back in the 90s and 2000s, but there's still quite a few jingle houses out there. But there's a lot more animators and gamers and cartooners, if you will, who look for a voice talent that can carry a part, especially in a musical type of animation or what have you. So I would say was it Thomas, right? To Thomas, absolutely is something you want to consider. Even if there isn't a lot of work per se, you still want to have that ability to pull it out when you need to. So it's definitely something like Bev was saying, you want to definitely consider, if you have the mains 5, 6, 7 core demos, you definitely want to consider maybe putting together, like I did for John Ciano and some other people recently. You want to develop a good quality 90-second little singer where you can do musical pieces from different hit movies or different, like you said, different jingles, if you will. So you can show your vocal ability. If a client says, hey, can you sing this part? We have a couple parts in this role, but we need to be able to sing. Oh, sure. Here's Maxwell's my singing demo. It doesn't have to be top of the line like you're going to get a Grammy, but you definitely want to have the ability to carry a tune. So adding to the good points that Bev shared and Stacy threw out, yeah, definitely something you want to think about for sure. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, definitely welcome, Cindy. I was wondering, Cindy, do you have any comments about this topic, about being able to sing these days as a voice actress? Oops, can't hear you.
It's like she unmuted. We'll give her a second, see if she can get the mic to come in. If not, you can go to Steve, and then Cindy can work on her technology there and hopefully get dialed in. What do you think, Steve? What's your thought, man?
I mean, I think it's it could be looked upon as just another thing that you can offer. For instance, myself being completely bilingual, that's something I can offer that makes me stand out as being different. If you're able to lean into the fact that that is something that you do, you have it on your website, that could potentially open doors that for other voice talent that can't, that it does. So I think that if it's something that you have in your quiver that you're able to bring out and display, that why not? Yeah.
You know, I've seen some auditions just since Friday, actually, ironically, that this topic is coming up, on some places where they've had some audio dramas and things like that, and they're kind of, maybe this is like a new trend, they're musicals, you know, and it said like singing not a must, but it made me think again, like, oh, this must be this character singing, how interesting, you know. So I think Cindy, is your audio working again?
Is that better?
There we are.
Oh, yes, we can hear you.
Well, it probably helps when you switch it to the correct settings on the computer. I was playing around in my booth last night, finally getting that set, and forgot to go back.
Well, it works. What do you think?
That's what I had asked the question. I know that when you're doing a specific demo for a genre, you want to stick to that. But the question was, if you were doing an animation, could you throw a little piece of the singing at the end? But then it was already answered that you really do need a specific demo for that.
Mm-hmm. True. And I've found that, and Bev might even be able to relate to this, a couple of demos that I've done in the past for people cartooning and gaming, rated E for everyone type demos, or M demos, for example. You don't necessarily have to have a dedicated targeted genre demo, a vocal demo, even though it's nice to have a singer demo. But there are times, if you can throw a few characters in that demo that have a part or two where they sing, and then go right back into another character voice, and a gaming voice, an Grand Theft Auto, whatever have you, that you're playing with. The ability to take the character and say, I ought to hit you right in the head. I'm going to hit you now. If you can do that kind of stuff, you know, then the ability to show them that you can at least get into the vocals and come back out into your speaking voice is a plus, like Steve was saying, for sure.
So that would be something you just take direction from whoever's producing the demo, get their opinion, and like JMC says, you're the monkey behind the microphone, just do what they say. Thank you.
So funny.
And hi, Bev.
Hi, Cindy.
Gosh.
What do you think? Guys, do you have any other comments? Bev, you have anything else you want to add to that?
No, he's a singer first and not a voice talent. So you might want to consider, you know, pursuing voice and adding the fact that you can sing, or go on to look up talent agents for, you know, jingles. I was going to say special advertising companies just doing jingles, but I wouldn't think so. I think they probably have a department that handles that part. But yeah, just do some research, and then put a demo together. That would be my. If you can already sing, so it's not like you have to figure that part out, right? So.
Awesome.
Make it work. We love jingles.
Well,
So
there you go. And I know, Cindy, you were curious about that, and Thomas, and I just found it was actually the same Sonny who wrote in earlier that asked the same question. So there you go, Sonny. Hopefully it helped too. What do you think, Stace? You want to take us out and go into a break and then come back in block 2?
Absolutely. And what an interesting question, because now it has me thinking like, oh, I want to add something to our demo. Okay, well, you know what? For now, let's take a break so we can come back and talk more VO.
This week's Nava News Minute is brought to you by...
Hi, Peter Drew here, professional blabbermouth for several decades. I'm a seasoned voice actor and VO coach, which means I'm not quite old as dirt, but I've been around the block a few times. So whether you've got a face made for radio, like me, or you're one of the beautiful people, if you have a voice and you want to learn how to use it as a voice actor, check out Hot Mic here on VO Radio. You can connect with me at peter@peterdrewvo.com.
Hey everybody, NAVA President Tim Friedlander here with your NAVA News Minute Update. The SAG-AFTRA interactive strike is still making progress with AI protections in video games, and NAVA was excited to host a live town hall with some of the members of the Interactive Agreement Negotiating Committee. If you want to rewatch the town hall to learn more about the video game strike, you can do so on our website at navavoices.org under the Resources tab. NAVA debuted a new Best Practices for Kids in VO page this month, which includes resources for parents and a new contract writer just for minors. And finally, we're continuing to make headway on AI legislation at the state and federal levels. Thank you to everyone for all your support. To find out more info on NAVA, visit our website at navavoices.org. Thanks a lot.
Somebody has to be the best in the business.
Elevate your voice with NAVA, the National Association of Voice Actors. As a nonprofit association, NAVA is dedicated to the advocacy and protection of all our voices and for championing the equitable advancement of the voice acting industry. Visit the website at navavoices.org today. NAVA, together they can protect the future of voice acting and make our voices heard. Your voiceover career is dynamic and moving fast, and market trends for voice actors are constantly changing. So having the right resources to stay on top of your game is critical to your success. That's why VO pros and newcomers alike rely on VoiceOverExtra.com daily as their one-stop resource for voiceover success. Cut through the social media noise and find the information you need fast at VoiceOverExtra.com. It's the right resource for you now.
The new issue of the VoiceOver Resource Guide is out now. We've created a fully updated special video game strike edition of the VORG for you. 3 pages dedicated to strike info. So get yours today at one of our pickup locations near you. Or head to thevorg.net, get one shipped out, and we'll plant a tree when you do. How nice is that?
Let's Talk VO Live on VO Radio. Interact with the show by texting 970-682-3424 or email your question to the show using the app email icon, radio player window, ask a question button, or send an email to ask@voradioonline.com. Let's Talk VO Live on VO Radio. It's here for you.
Welcome back, and welcome if you've just joined us. We're here today with Anthony Reese, Stacey Barrow, and our listeners. 2 listeners have joined in: Steve Ward, who's becoming a regular, which we love, and Cindy Burns, who's been here a couple of times. So thanks, guys. It's great when you join in and we can hear your point of view and ask you to share your comments. We'd like you to join us live. Just go to VO Radio Online and do all the things that Stacey just told us. Go down to Let's Talk VO and you scroll down the page and you'll see the link there that you can do it, or you can call from your phone, 970-682-3424, and send us a text. Either way, we'd love to have you on camera with us because we are live on the air right now. Now, sometimes we go to a listener's question, but today we are going to listen to one of our auditions on the Audition Underground, which, just so you know, go to the website, go to listeners, go to participate, and go to Audition Underground. There's 3 scripts. They're going to change soon, but there's 3 scripts there that you can pick, send it in, and we're going to have a listen and without direction, knowing where you're going to go, let's see what our comments are.
Yeah,
Anthony?
really cool. This is one of our favorite segments to the Audition Underground because we can give, pay it forward and share the love, so to say. It's all constructive. It's all good. Sometimes we have to be a little bit hard love, but sometimes we give constructive feedback. Well, most of the time. So you take what you want from it, run with it. If you think it's useful, run with it. If you think it's trash it. But our idea is just to give you a little bit of food for thought. I did want to add what Jack wrote in. Jack said on the last conversation we were having about the Thomas's email, Jack said, is it ever an infringement on copyright to use songs when creating a jingle and or a vocal singer, as you call it? Yes, real quickly, what I will tell you is people that have, like myself and others, experience of developing those, you can't just take and remove the center or the voiceover track from a well-known hit and use that and sing to it, because then you kind of infringing a little bit on the copyright. However, you can find either a sound alike and or a karaoke version, and you can develop 7, 8, 10-second clip from that karaoke version. I ran this through my entertainment attorneys a couple of years back, and they said as long as you don't extract the voice without getting publishing rights and all that stuff is required, or you aren't selling for profit per se, if you're using it for what they call fair broadcast rights. So the answer, short and sweet and to the point, would be, as long as you're developing from a karaoke public in the public domain type of a version of the track, and you're not removing the vocal from the hit song itself or from the soundtrack itself, you can still get away with it. And they understand that you're not selling that demo for commercial purposes on iTunes or whatever have you. You're using for demonstration purposes, then you're okay realistically. So I hope that helps. So what was it, Jack? Hope that helps you out a little bit, Jack. Anyways, Bev, you're right. Let's go for it. Let's do the Audition Underground and see what we got going on today.
This week's Underground Audition is brought to you by...
I'm Stacey Barrow, and I'm the imaging voice here on VO Radio, as well as a feature contributor. My feature is Top of Mind, where I talk about what's top of mind for those who are new to VO. I do all different types of voiceover, and I'm also bilingual in English and Spanish. I truly love all things voiceover, and I definitely love to talk about it. So reach out to me anytime here at VO Radio Online, or you can also find me at voiceoversbystacy.com.
Hey everybody, hi, this is Lance DeBach. Thanks a lot for that critique, and the multiple critiques, I should say, on the Bermuda Triangle narration. Absolutely perfect. I agree with every single one of you. I think I can improve that read dramatically. So thanks a lot for the feedback, and hopefully I'll send some more auditions your way, and look for more critiques. Thanks again.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We are VO Radio. Every voiceover talent, from beginners to intermediate to veterans, want to have feedback on their audition. This can be a very costly endeavor. VO Radio has just a solution with our Audition Underground. Here's another voiceover talent brave enough to enter the Audition Underground zone on VO Radio.
All right, awesome. We're going to go ahead and set up real quickly our Audition Underground today. Before I do so, let me hand it back to Bev, because I think you have something you want to share, right, Bev, about our guest on Wednesday or something?
I do. I was so excited to hear this next little segment. I forgot to mention that on Wednesday, we have a fabulous guest. Our VIP guest on Wednesday is Sarah Sikora, and she is just so multi-talented and brilliant and kind, and I'm really excited. I'm hoping I have the availability to be here and hear what she has to say. So she will be here live on Wednesdays. So if you have time, check it out.
It's going to be awesome. And she's like a rocket, man. I mean, for all you inspiring, if you're looking for an example of somebody who just has taken off and what perseverance and patience and longevity can give you, this is all about staying the course, people. It doesn't happen overnight, but if you stick with it, she's a perfect example. We'll hear more about it on Wednesday when she comes and joins the show. So, all right, let's go for it. So today over to Audition Underground is going to be Crazy Bears, one of our animation gaming clips from the auditions, and it's being done by Rick Strausman. Rick Strausman is going to be their Audition Underground in the hot seat today. And of course, we're going to go ahead and play that clip. I'm going to play it twice, actually, back to back. and let you take a listen and let everybody here critique it and think about it twice. So let's go for it. So here we go. Let's see what we got. Here's the first take.
Ready to have some fun? Cool beans. Then click any of my black bear claws to enter that area of the app. You can choose to play music, color or draw, play hide and seek with me, read a poem, do a crossword puzzle, and even practice math problems. My favorite. Once you are done, click on the blue cave button to return home.
All right. Awesome. So this is Rick Strauss giving us a take of the Crazy Bear. Here we go. A second roll. One more time.
Ready to have some fun? Cool beans. Then click any of my black bear claws to enter that area of the app. You can choose to play music, color or draw, play hide and seek with me, read a poem, do a crossword puzzle, and even practice math problems. My favorite. Once you are done, click on the blue cave button to return home.
All right. So there you go. Crazy Bears by Rick Strausman. What do you think, Bev Standing? What's your thought on that?
My favorite line, great job, Rick. My favorite line is my favorite. I love the energy you brought to that line, and I wish you had brought that to the entire script. It doesn't all have to be that wow thing that I was hearing in my favorite, but I would have liked to have heard a little more excitement behind your voice, and that as if you were talking to, you know, children that are like, oh, let's do this. This is going to be so fun. I liked your energy. I could hear that you were, you know, ooh, want to do this. And that was really nice. I just would have liked to have heard a little bit more of you getting excited about it. You were happy about it, but I wouldn't necessarily want to play with you if I were a kid. I'd be like, oh, that's cool. Because I think I get the experience talking to my granddaughter all the time, right? You kind of have to go, oh, want to color? You know, depending on the age group. And it doesn't say, it just says young kids. But if you're coloring, drawing, playing hide and seek, they're likely fairly young. So it's like, ooh, want to color or draw? Play hide and seek with me? Like give it a little bit of difference in each of the things.
Nice.
Right? So that would be my change to that. But again, like it said, you know, faster pace. And if you had been any faster, I would have said slow it down. So I thought your pace was good and I could hear you were happy. But I think you needed to be a little more invested in the happy.
Nice. Well said. There you go, Rick. Let's see. Stacy, what's your thoughts?
Okay. And hope I can read my handwriting. Okay, Rick. You know, you have a really fun voice for this. I love this little quirky rasp thing that I hear that's really fun and really lends itself to some fun kid stuff. Yeah, like Bev mentioned, like for me, it was a little fast, especially if it's for younger kids, even though you don't know how old they am. They are. They am like I am. That's funny. That was Freudian, sort of. You are giving instructions. So if these are little kids, you have to give them a second to realize what you said. Because even me as an adult, it took me a second to realize what the instructions were. You're very musical. And as Anthony would say, the color yellow, you know, in your delivery, lots of musical tone. But what I found is, even though I liked that, and that was great, you have a similar cadence throughout your sentences. You'll be like dun 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 dun, and you'll end lower, you know, quite often. So I think with your warmth and like some more engagement, you could make me believe that you really want to play this game, you know, and that's what will hook the kids. That's what I'm missing. Just with a similar cadence, you kind of lost me in there a little bit. But overall, you sound great. Your voice is perfect for this, and you have the right idea. It's just a little bit of nip and tuck here, I think, for this one.
Nice, man. That's some gold you guys are sharing. I guess my feedback would be the faster the read, the cadence, the tempo, the quicker. We use that a lot in cartoon and gaming animation because it retains the child's attention more. So you'll see when you look at a lot of the Cartoon Network stuff and Nick and all those, they are quicker. The tempos do read faster because we want to keep their attention. We want them right up the TV, and we want to give them something quick. But at the same time, I think it has a lot more to do with, at least what I've heard from people I've worked with over the years, it has a lot to do with the demographic or the age of the child. It does say young kids or young whatever, but if they're like Head Start, preschoolers, kindergartners, you probably want to slow it down just a bit. Give them time to actually hear you read, because you are talking to children aren't necessarily that educated, that wise yet. But as you get to the K5, get that 10-year-olds, 9-year-olds, 11-year-olds, you're going to have a different cadence. It's going to be faster for one, and you're going to not be as I don't want to say phony, because I don't mean that negatively. I mean, you won't be as over the top. Wow, are we ready, boys and girls? You won't be as pukey, we used to say in the business. You'll be a little bit more realistic sounding. You ready to have some fun? You're going to throw that, kind of like we do advertisement for those channels. The voiceover will be a little bit more dependent upon the demographic age-wise. So I think with that food for thought, with what Bev hammered home and what Stacy hammered home, what I threw out, we're trying to give a little bit of different opinion on different areas. I think you got a really good grasp on what's going on. I bet if Bev was directing you, somebody, or Deb Monroe or somebody was directing you, they would probably be able to bring out a really awesome couple circle takes out of what you did there for sure. So food for thought, go back and listen to this. And any of you who have not heard that, you can definitely hear replayed this audition review on the Audition Underground page at the website. All the auditions are played back and exited out. And if not, you can catch the entire rebroadcast tomorrow on the Encore at 5 p.m. Eastern time, he said. So any final thoughts, Bev, you want to take us out, or what do you think? Any last comments you want to make?
The only thing I'll say is, and this is actually not directed at Rick per se, is perhaps when we do say young kids, when we post an audition next time, if we say young kids, let's put a demographic so we help the talent make their choices a little more defined, because we're guessing. Like, we don't know what age group Rick was thinking they were. So it makes it harder to say, be slower, be bigger, be small, because the different age groups warrant a different thing.
Exactly right.
So,
good point. So make it clear, like 3 to 9-year-olds or 5 to 9-year-olds, or make it a little clearer for people. Good point. Awesome. Good stuff there. All right. Well, we'll do this. Let's go ahead and jump into, and I don't know if Steve or Cindy want to give us a little bit what their thoughts are hearing that audition review for them. What did they take away as auditioners themselves potentially? What do you think, Steve? What do you take away from that? Or what you learned from that, if anything, man?
I wasn't sure if we were going to be asked, but I made the mental note. It was the same thing that Stacy was going to mention, where there was a certain pattern that ended up happening, that ended up being predictable, but being able to bring variety in the voice, like Bev mentioned, would then make it a more of a dynamic read to listen to. Because was the voice there? Was that character voice there? Sure. But then by varying it, will make it more engaging for the listener to want to, as Bev said, play the game with you, right?
That's right. Right. You want to entice them, pull them in. Cindy, any thoughts about how you might have approached this yourselves as an auditioner, or any feedback you want to share?
First of all, we have a little rescue dog who turns into the Tasmanian devil when can you hear her? Is that
no? No.
I closed the door, but it's similar, I guess, to what Steve said, and it reminded me from when Bev was coaching me. I tend to be sing-songy, and I liked his delivery of that, but I could hear now. I hear patterns that I wouldn't have heard before, and it helps to know that it's, even though you're directing it to a young child, you keep not talking to them as an adult, but you still just bring it down a notch. I'm not like Steve, so eloquent with it. I know what I heard. I know what I'm thinking when I'm listening to the Tasmanian devil in the background, but it makes me realize and understand every time I listen and I don't like to name drop, but it's the truth because Bev was my coach. I hear what she was talking about.
Yep.
And what to listen for and what to do myself.
Good stuff. Awesome. Well, thank you, Steve. Thank you, Cindy. Bev, great points. And Stacy, and let's go for it. There you go. If you want to audition Underground yourself, Go to the website, go to the Audition Underground, read any one of the 3 scripts, which are changing actually tomorrow. We were going to do it today when they get around to it. So tomorrow, new scripts will be going on the website. And I'm going to make a mental note of what Bev just said. Make sure that we say demographically, this is targeting 25 to 35-year-olds or 7 to 9-year-olds or whatever. It makes total sense. We got to start thinking of, I guess, like casting with what we supply you to help you get in there a little bit more of the character and the age and everything. So yeah, good stuff, man. Let's think of this.
Thank you, Rick, for submitting.
Absolutely right. Hey, let's go for it. It's time to do, what is that? Who's that voice? Is that what we're doing? Who's that voice?
This week's Who's That Voice is sponsored by
the darkest hour when the night unfolds. I'm a lioness ready to take control.
Hi, I'm Bev Standing, a voice actor in Canada, and I started my journey in the VO world in 2008 and have not looked back.
No one can hold me back.
If you want to talk to me personally about coaching, just message me at bev@bevstanding.com, or you can contact me through my website, bevstanding.com.
Who's that voice? I beg your pardon. Do you have a knack for knowing a voice? Can you recognize a voice with your eyes closed?
Oh, I just rescued a tiger.
VO Radio wants to give you a chance to win free coaching, online courses, and other great stuff.
Greetings, Earthlings.
Listen to Let's Talk VO and VO2B for the weekly voice of the day.
There's a secret mission.
Then fill out the Who's That Voice contest entry, and you'll be added into our weekly drawing on the Let's Talk VO Live the following Monday.
I think that I've lived like 3 lives.
Now let's test your ability to recognize a voice with this week's Who's That Voice?
All right, Stacy, take it away. Tell us what they need to do and all that fun stuff, man.
All right. What you need to do is submit. Submit your answer, whoever you think it is, and the voice, the character, who played that character. Go to our website, voradioonline.com. Go to listeners, go to participate, and then look for Who's That Voice, and turn in your submission. You know, this is so fun. And what you can win is the intermediate course with VO101.com, Anthony Reese. So it's a great course, and I took it myself. So you want to win that. And should I announce the winner from last time?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. And the winner was Greg Garfinkel. Yay! Oh my gosh, terrific. So, and he actually won a free downloadable digital webinar from the VoiceOver Extra. So that's really, really cool. Congratulations. Okay. We're going to play this times?
We sure are. Well, I want to let everybody know before we do play it, nobody won last Monday the correct answer. They, believe it or not, 9 people, was it 9? 9 people tried, but they got the wrong, either the wrong character or the wrong actor. We didn't have a VO2 because we had broadband issues on Friday. And so that's why we're running it one more time today to give everybody a chance to potentially win. So here's one more shot at it. So we're going to play it back to back. All right, here we go.
Life's not fair, is it? You see, I shall never be king. And you shall never see the light of another day.
Okay, there you go. Let's roll it again one more time. Here's another shot. Here we go.
Life's not fair, is it? You see, I shall never be king. And you shall never see the light of another day.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and give them a little bit cheat, like my kids used to love in the gaming world, like cheats. The key word in that statement, if you want to have another listen tomorrow and or listen to the encore tomorrow, is I will never be king. I hate to say that, but that's pretty good little cheat there. That don't give it away. I don't know what can, but you know what to do now. Go to the website, go to the forum, go down to contest, go to the forum, and then fill out the form and correctly say who the character is and the actor who does the character. No brainer. If you think you know the character, just Google it. It'll tell you who the actor was and vice versa. You can actually look at the either way, and it'll probably give away who that character is. So All right. That's all there is to it. So
that's such a good one. It's such a good one. Oh my gosh. And the more we've played this, the more I realized who the actor was, but I actually didn't know his name, so, oh, it's so good.
Really is.
When you listen to that line, doesn't it just tell you when you audition, don't you love just how he goes, like,
right.
Yes.
Guaranteed you're shortlisted. Guaranteed. If it was fitting, it was those little things. But he did it, right? So, yeah.
Amazing stuff. Hey, let's go ahead and take a quick break. We'll come back and we're going to go for, I guess, block 3. And we have a question from another listener coming up. So stick around. Don't go nowhere.
This week's Events and Happenings is brought to you by
Street Smart Coaching.
That's what you get at VO 101.
Hi, I'm Anthony Reese, 35-year veteran, casting director, producer, and voiceover coach here at VO 101.
Whether a beginner or veteran voice talent,
you'll find everything you need to get your career started or take your career to the next level. Training, website design, YouTube channel creation, voiceover demos, video demos, a free evaluation, and even a free training area.
Get Street Smart Coaching at VO 101.
That's VO101.com.
VO101.com.
Hey, y'all. Ali, Chef here with Events and Happenings. The One Voice Conference will be happening in the UK May 13th through 18th, and in the US in Dallas, the 21st of August through the 24th. UVOS Audition Retreat with R. Deb Moreau and Ellie Ray Hennessy. It is an in-person, and you can do remote workshops, audition panels, team building, risk-taking. There's some risks. So that is going to be the 27th, my birthday, through 30th of June up in Canada, Well, I'm just so stoked for this year, y'all. Moving along, more to come, and I will catch you on the flip side.
It's J. Michael Collins from VO Atlanta, and I'm thrilled at all the great things VO Radio is doing. It's a great asset for our community, and I'm a proud listener and guest. Now, did you know that you don't have to go to VO Atlanta to be at VO Atlanta? As a special thank you to the VO Radio community, we're offering 25% off all the VO Atlanta content from each of the past 3 years. We're talking hundreds of hours of content from the top people in the industry, sharing all their insights into how to make your VO career more successful. It's the biggest conference in the industry on demand in HD high-quality video replay. Just go to voatlanta.me, that's voatlanta.me, and redeem code VOA-replay-25. That's all caps, VOA-replay-25. Enjoy the conference from the comfort of your own home, and keep enjoying VO Radio like I do. Thanks again from me, CEO Anna Collins, and everybody at VO Atlanta.
Let's Talk VO Live on VO Radio. Interact with the show by texting 970-682-3424 or email your question to the show using the app email icon, radio player window, ask a question button, or send an email to ask@voradioonline.com. Let's Talk VO Live on VO Radio. It's here for you.
All right. So we don't have Peter Jew with us. Unfortunately, he could make the show. I think his limo got stuck in traffic or something on the highway up. But anyways, I'm going to jump in and start this block off. I want to remind you to text us, or you can email us, like you just heard, our imaging talent, Stacey Barrow, of course. Remind us. You can also Zoom the show by clicking on the Zoom and or call in via Zoom by just going to the VO radioonline.com site and go to the listener areas and go down to the shows and go down to Let's Talk VO and click on the links. You can, like Steve and Cindy are doing, you can be part of the show, and you can be zoomed in and or call in if you only want to call in by audio. So a reminder again about Wednesday, we have a special guest, Sarah Sakura is going to be joining us. I can't wait to pick her brain a bit and find out what makes her tick. Find out her secrets, what made her be able to light the fire of the industry like she's doing. It'll be nice to hear what her formula was. And so hopefully you can rip off some of those ideas yourself and use her as an example and a role model. Hey, what do you do every day as voiceover talent? Are you in the voiceover business, full-time, part-time, and night? overnights, when do you actually become a voice talent? When you wake up in the morning? We want to hear what your day in the life is like. Basically, we want to know all about what you do in the industry. When you wake up in the morning, how do you juggle your kids, your work, your job, your pets, your spouse, your whatever is going on? Whether you're a caregiver, what do you do to juggle your career and your personal domestic world with voiceovers? How do you audition? How do you work your day? How do you multitask? How do you schedule your day? We want to hear about that, and we want to actually know about that. It's called, the new feature is called Day in the Life. Now, me and Bev and Stacy and Deb Monroe and all the other contributors have been contemplating doing away with What's Your Story. People are not taking advantage of that like we actually thought. So we may eventually do away with that unless you respond and tell us your story. Write in an application. You can fill out the form. If we like what's going on, we'll invite you on to Let's Talk VO and interview you like we do our VIPs on Wednesday. We'll interview you on Mondays. If we don't find over the next 30 days, things are rolling forward and people aren't taking advantage of that anymore, we're going to probably start to focus on Day in the Life more. So if you want to participate in that, just go to the website and check out the Day in the Life link and or feature and being involved in that. What do you think, Bev? What's your thought about that?
I would love to say to people out there, you know, we come here as often as we do just to pay it forward. And if you came on and you have a successful routine that you've been able to figure out while managing a household and another job and possibly 2 jobs, but still can fit voiceover in some aspect, by sharing that story, you're already starting your pay it forward journey. Not only that, we have over 100 to 200 listeners every time. We have casting directors that listen to this show. We have agencies that listen to this show. It's a way for you to be seen. So you're helping yourself as well as other talent. So that's why it's there. That's why we want you to participate. We want you to benefit you and everyone around us.
Well said. I should have just handed it right off to Bev right away and said, Bev, tell them about the life. She knows how to keep concise but to the point. Points. She's good at that. I go off and I'm like Deb Monroe. I'm winded and I tangent off, but yeah, Deb gets right to the point. Me and Deb and a few other people where I just had to keep our mouths going like I'm doing right now anyway. So, hey, let's go ahead and do this. We got another listener email and I'm going to go ahead and get that rolling.
The best music ever made.
If you're like most voice talent today, you're wondering various things relating to your voiceover career. Well, VO Radio has your answers. Here's more questions answered by our panelists live on Let's Talk VO here on VO Radio.
Listen and learn. Internet radio for the voice artists just like you.
Okay, so this one was actually indirectly directed towards something that I had talked about a while ago with somebody, and her name is Maya, and she's from Georgia. And Maya actually wrote in and said, I heard Anthony speak about rate consistency. Can you share more on how to do that across all of my marketing, like on my website, pay to plays, Upwork, Fiverr, sorry about that, and social media? Basically, consistency is what she's asking. And I did speak about that, but let's hand it off to Bev. Bev, what's your thought about how do they remain consistent across the entire network up there?
2 words. Well, 5 words. 2 words, 2 different thoughts. 1, know your worth. But 2, industry standards. You don't go, well, you know, for you, I'm going to say I'm $20, but for you, I'm $650. Figure out, go to GVAA, go to Gravy for the Brain. We have a rate guide that's global. GVAA is great for North America. It is so detailed and so inclusive. But if you go to GVAA, you can see what they're charging in Spain and in France and in Canada and stuff. And the rates vary. So know where your client is, know where it's airing, do your homework, and charge that rate. And doesn't matter what site you're on. Now, I know with Fiverr, you have to start low and build up. I'm not on that site, but there is the goal is to become industry standard, right? Like you can say, hey, I charge you $5 for edition, but if you hire me for an explainer, it's $350. Like, I don't know at what point you get to do that, but that's your goal. And I don't care where you're applying. You have to work with their budget, but many people have said, "Oh, when I go on online casting, I bid more because it's worth more." And they still book. So find your comfort rate and stick to it.
Good point. What's your thoughts, Stacy?
Well, definitely consistency is key. And like everyone always says, that the best isn't the cheapest, and the cheapest certainly isn't the best.
Right. Give what you pay for.
So and it's a struggle when you're newer. And even for me now, I love to work with people, and yes, it does depend on their budget, but oftentimes I will say no for something that I know is just not fair to me at this point. I'd rather do something worthwhile, worth my time, as a collaboration for no charge, depending on what it is, versus getting paid like super peanuts and feeling bad about it. And yeah, you have to think also, if you're on Fiverr and you charge $5 or whatever it is, and then someone else is on another platform and they do see you and your rate was totally different from them, you might have some discord. So Cindy had wanted me to sing, so let's see, my rates will come out tomorrow. Don't charge bottom dollar or there'll be sorrow. You will see. See, this is why I don't sing. That's me singing.
That's good though. Did you improvise that?
Yeah.
That's so good. I can't wait to take that outtake out and put that in a promo somehow. And yeah, we're a little crazy for doing these shows and everything for free, but here's an example. Tomorrow, my rich will come out tomorrow. I love it. Hey, great. That's a great point. And I'll throw this back at my the reality is I think Bev hit it and Stacey hit it, and I know Steve will give an opinion on his thoughts about it too. Is some people make a big mistake and they promote the rate on the website. You should never promote your rates on your website, for one. Back in the day, maybe, but not as much anymore. Probably 15 even years now. The rate sheet should only be something you keep to yourself in privacy, attached to your wall or stuck above your desk or whatever you're doing, your accounting and stuff and billing and budgeting and whatever have you, quoting. But you really don't want to publish that. One of the main reasons that you want to is exactly what she and me were talking about way back when I did some training with her. And that was, if you go to a pay to play and you sign up to pay to play, they're going to ask you to either work with the quote they're offering, a job pays X piecework wise, or they're going to say submit a custom quote. And what happens is you can supply a quote, and then if they are unethical, and I'm just talking about the main 2 or 3, there's about 7 to 10, give or take, pay to plays that are competing out there now. They're going to be able to Google you. If they see your name, they like your audition, they're going to Google you. And if they Google you and all of a sudden they see you're at Fiverr for $150 and you're quoting $750 over here and you go to here, they're going to load dough where they can find you. They're bottom feeders. And a lot of those people out there are going to surf the web and see where they can find your Upwork, your Thumbtack, or wherever you're involved in. And they're going to potentially even maybe go to other pay-to-plays that you're involved in. And they're going to see where they can find you the cheapest. And they're going to come back to you and they're going to say, hey, listen, we're interested in hiring you, but we found the rate that was offering somewhere else for X. So you want to stay consistent. What I mean by consistency, what she was playing on there is, if you're going to work for X across the board. If you're going to promote yourself at $150 an hour, $300 an hour, or whatever, like Bev nailed though, depending on the use, the market, all the application use, and all that stuff, the licensing rights to it and everything we want to talk about is non-union talent, especially we still try to do that. If you're going to work for X number of dollars for a regional ad, then don't charge one rate here and one rate there and one rate there, because it will come back to get you to the point of where you forget, where am I offering what rate? You can't stay consistent across the board. If I know that I want to offer $275 an hour, then I'm going to offer no matter where I go, whether it's a pay to play, whether it's a production hub or whatever, it's any of these type of directories, then you quote that as your rate wherever you go. But I will come back and say, just in wrapping that up, don't share your rate sheet. Don't publicize your rate. Don't even say it on your website, hey, I charge starting at X number of dollars, because they're going to somehow or another find you cheaper and or lower door somewhere else. And the ultimate bottom line, like Stacey was hammering home, is know your worth. And one other point that I will share about that, we've talked about this maybe before, is you got to make a decision. Am I a quantity or am I quality voiceover talent? Are they pay me for my worth, or am I working on volume? Some people like to work on volume. They'll do 20, 15 projects a week at $75 because it pays their bills. Other people hold off and only do 1 or 2 or 3 jobs for X number of dollars that they're worth. So you got to decide what kind of a talent you want to be. Do you want to get your worth, or do you want to be a, hey, I'll work for food type of talent? And eventually your reputation is going to precede you. When they start to see you're out there, people start to hire you for the wrong reason. They won't hire Bev Standing because they want Bev Standing and she's worth every penny. They'll hire Bev Standing, whoever, because even though she's not, she's the cheapest out there. So a lot of people will hire people just, she knows I don't mean that like that. I mean that as an analogy of people will sometimes hire somebody based on, we think they're low doer. Anthony Reeves will work for $100. Let's hire him. Well, he's not right for part, but look at that price. We can't beat that. Versus he wants $500. Well, is he worth it? Well, I think he's worth it. But so there is something said about that. Go ahead, Bev.
Yeah, there's a little more to that too, and that's you do have to be flexible when you're working with different people, because they have different budgets. Obviously,
right.
Mercedes is big company. Mercedes going to be different than Steve's corner car lot. It's a different budget. But again, it's usually a different audience. It's a different usage. It's a different. But don't hesitate to have your standard rates and negotiate down if you have to. But don't start out with, I charge $250. They're going to go, oh, wow, I had $400, right. But $250 is great. So that's a whole negotiating thing. But yeah, just know your rates, have them in your back pocket, and negotiate each and every job the way you feel fit, but don't cheapen yourself.
That's cool. And I know you've said that before, actually. And I know when we had David on a couple of weeks ago, which Steve will all probably have heard about, he hit me really hard, and it made me go, yeah, that's a good point. I should have said it that way. And what he said was, don't start at the bottom and negotiate. Start at the highest price you can offer and negotiate down. So you're absolutely right, Bev. That's killer. You and David actually pushed that through too. Steve, what's your thought, man? What do you think about this?
Yeah, I have the GVA rate guide as a tab open, and anytime I refer to it. And in fact, I was in a conversation with other VOs recently, and I mentioned a particular quote. They're like, "Really, that much?" I'm like, "It's right there." Like it's even used to help educate fellow VO artists. Right. That it's like, well, you should be charging that. That's the industry, industry rate. Go from there, right? So I think it's key, because when we all are getting the rates right, then we're just all raising the bar collectively, as opposed to, oh, I'll do it for $5. Right. Could we all say that it's supposed to be 150 and not 5? Because then that's where we're moving from. We're going from there as the minimum, as opposed to going lower. So
well said. And I know Bev knows what I'm talking about here. When the pay-to-plays first started back in like the early 2000s, and me and Deb and Bev maybe and others were one of the first 25 or 30 they reached out to. I won't drop names, but they know who they are. Their whole model was basically have us all work for food, have us all bid against one another, have us all cut each other's throats. And it worked for quite a few years. The valuation of the voiceover business went down the toilet. I'm talking about non-union. It went down in the gutter. People were willing to work for food with low doors, what we call them. And the reality was they dropped the rate value, and all of us across the board suffered. And it kind of, in a weird way, it was kind of like crossing a picketing line. It was kind of like the union sticks together. Now, if you're somebody who crosses the line, you're pretty much, I hate to say this, but you're blacklisted in the industry. It'll be a problem for you potentially. They stuck together. As the rates increase, they all have to work on the same rate because they're a union. They go by their union grid, et cetera, and all that stuff. In the non-union world, for a while there, it was anybody can charge anything. I'll work for food. I don't care what my rate is. Who cares what his rate's this? I'm going to undercut him and kill him. slowly, I'm starting to see, like you just said, thanks to the GBAA and others out there, we're starting to see everybody collectively in non-union come back to, hey, we're all in this together. And let's take, for those that are undercutting, I don't want to say they're getting blacklisted, but it's probably not the best thing to do. If you get a reputation out there that you're low-doing and you're undercutting everybody, it should be who's best for the job. And the reality is, I think that people are starting to come back together, like you were saying, like Bev will probably say too. I think people are slowly starting to come back to a center, and they're realizing, like you just said, we finally have a rate sheet that's somewhat agreeable across the board. Yeah, there's going to be newbies that could come in and they got to do what they got to do to get rolling. But the most experienced talent that have been 4 years, 5 years upwards, they all have enough respect for one another ethically to stick to that grid that is becoming, like you said, a grid that we can use as our non-union grid. So what are your thoughts, Bev?
Yeah, I just want to say, if you don't have enough money to pay rent and the only job you're going to book is one for $50, please take it. But make a note saying, you know, this is not my normal rate, but I understand that's your budget. I will work. Like, you know, explain to them that that's not your rate. But if you need $50, please don't let it be us saying, no, don't take it, because, you know, you should live on the street and be a great voice actor.
Yeah, but don't settle for that ongoing is what I was getting to. Don't make that part of your...
Point. Use it for that example. This is not the normal industry standard rate. I understand this is your budget and I will do it this time. Should we continue, please know my rates are according to the GBARateGuide.com. You know, and do that. And you can do that with other clients too. I had a client out of the blue, haven't worked for them since 2019. Got an email the other day from them on Friday saying, hey, Bev, can you read this? And we really loved what you did the last time we worked. And I went, I don't remember who you are. So I looked at my email and there was a thread, and I looked at what I charged and I looked at what I had done, and I had all that history behind. And I said, I'd be happy to, but my rates have gone up in the last 6 years.
Right.
What's your, and I then followed it with, what's your budget for this? They already knew what they paid me 5 years ago.
Right.
Right? So I had to know what they paid me 5 years ago. And then I asked them their budget. And lo and behold, it was more than they paid me 5 years ago. You know, because they're a legit company and they acknowledge my time, my equipment, all my training, all my knowledge, and my basic, this sounds a little egotistical, my basic talent warrants that.
Right.
Or you wouldn't be hiring me.
That's right. That's right. And that's a reason you keep track.
Say me, meaning you, like believe in yourself.
Absolutely. And you keep track of all your PayPal invoices received to come in, so you in a folder permanently, because that way you can query their search on your Google or your inbox, and you can go to that PayPal folder and you can see what they did pay you last time their email comes up. And I had a client the same way, that he wanted to charge me several years ago. He wanted to charge me he wanted to give me $350. So I Googled him. What did I work for last time? And it was $795. He paid me. Now I said, well, last time it was $795. He goes, oh, you remember that? So that's a good thing. The other thing too is, like you were hammering home, $50 holler. All right. Yes. If the client is a small mom and pop and they own one little store and they do a radio ad once a month and they only have a $350 production budget, yeah, take the $50 because you're working within their budget. But if it's a automotive dealership that has 8 locations in the Rocky Mountain region and they want to send you $500 to do an ad they're going to spend $40,000 on the air, something's wrong with that picture. So absolutely. The other thing too is, do not, like Bev hammered home just now, do not allow yourself to get a low-dough reputation in the business, because I'm telling you, I've seen it. People will take advantage of you. If they know they get you for a song, they're going to always expect you to get the song. So like Bev just hammered home, I love that point that you made. Say to them, well, I'm doing this in good faith. I know you can afford a bigger budget this because you have 2 multi-million-dollar automotive dealerships. But if I'll work with you and this time, but next time you're going to have to pay my full rate, I'll show you good faith if you meet me halfway, type of thing. Man, awesome. Who was this again? Oh, it was Maya. Good stuff. Any final thoughts? Anybody else? Steve, Stacy, want to throw in any last
Yeah,
thoughts?
I was gonna share that there's even something you can do in your billing. Something I've done is that you can actually put what your rate is and then put as a one-time discount. So they know what your normal rate is. they're seeing what they're getting
discounted for
this
you.
time.
Yeah.
And then now they know next time moving forward, this is the actual going rate.
Who said that? Was that you, Bev, said that about a month ago? I think it was. You said this. That's a great idea, I thought, too. Add it on the invoice, and that way they visually see, right, that you normal rate $500, rate discount up to you $250. You save $250, right? You know, the whole marketing thing.
And then when in 2019, if I had done a $1,000 job and I got paid $500 for it because I gave them a discount, if I didn't look up that invoice and know that, or have the text in the email and not know that, I would have said, well, last time you paid me $500, so how's $650 this time? Meanwhile, I'd already discounted the first. Like, you gotta do your homework and have records. But
Yeah,
that's
so
exactly right. Right, Steve? That's why you put it in your invoice, so you can go back and look and go, oh, I discounted them that one-time fee. I'm not doing it again.
Right. Very cool. Hey, man, I think I cut myself short quite a few years there, not giving too many breaks and not saying, by the way, my rate's usually $1,500 for this. Hey, good work. Stacy, final thoughts before we close up for the show?
Yeah. So did you ever hear the old story about Miriam and Benjamin were voice actors, and they go to the rabbi and they say, Rabbi, I want to win the lotto. I want to make $10,000. I want to make $100,000. And the rabbi says, did you buy a ticket? Get it? I mean, like, you can't win if you don't even buy a ticket. So you know what I mean? So as a voice actor, if you want to make a lot of money, you know what I mean? You at least have to ask. If you don't ask, you don't get. So
awesome. Really cool. Hey, can you sing that joke for us now?
The rates will come out tomorrow.
I love that. I can't wait to cut that excerpt out. I'm not kidding. Hey, great show, everybody. Got 7 emails we didn't get to, so I apologize. We'll try to squeeze you in on Wednesday and then again on Friday, like we do with everybody. We're just about 3 or 4 days. I throw a few in here when we have time during each show, but thank you for listening and for sending your thoughts. Let's wrap things up or go around the horn, do our final thought segment. We'll start out with Bev Standing. What's your final thoughts today, Bev?
Oh gosh, I don't have any final thoughts. My brain is on overload today. I'm multitasking. You know what? It's good to multitask. It's good to keep a record. My suggestion is, if you are multitasking and you find yourself drawn in so many different directions, put a Post-it note, a piece of paper, a whiteboard, or something you can see, and put 2 things down that you need to do that day. And no matter what else you do, make sure you do those 2 things.
Sounds great. Very good. What do you think, Stacy? Final thoughts?
And you know what? Just what I just said. If you don't ask, you don't have a chance. So ask for what you want. And you have a very good chance that you'll get it. Ask. If you don't ask, you're for sure not going to get it. So ask.
Excellent. Really good. And Steve disappeared. I don't know if you can hear us, Steve, if you want to lend in your final thoughts about the show or anything.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I would say what one thing Bev said, which is just know your worth and charge accordingly. Yeah.
I think you got some good mentors coming in your corner, Bev Standing and David and some others. You starting to sound like a veteran. By the way, how long have you been in the business?
Since August 2023. Yeah.
So only 3 years.
I do have a background many years ago in on-camera theater and Second City. So
there you go.
Steve is with Brady with the Brain, so I know Steve well, and he's great. So if you want to hire him, reach out, because I will vouch for this.
I speak Spanish.
He's bilingual like our own Stacy Barrow for sure. So very valuable these days, especially in the world that we're living in right now. It's
get you guys to record little things in Spanish for the station.
You know, and I'm actually pretty flipped out that I'll be sitting there watching, going through a sling and surfing in the middle of the night or whatever, and I actually see complete ads now that are running on Sling and other channels that are completely in Espanol. It's amazing to me that it's become pretty much the norm now. They're putting out English and a Spanish version, depending on the market. So yeah, definitely an area to go into. Hey, that wraps it up. Make sure to check out the encore tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern time. Don't forget about Sarah joining us, Sakura joining us Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern. She'll be our VIP guest, thanks to Stacia Barrow's booking magic she's doing. And we are going to Well, we're looking for you to give us your day in the life. We want to hear your day in the life. Record a 4 to 5 minute story about your day in the life, and we'll air it here in our new feature. And if that doesn't seem to kick off, like the What's Your Story isn't working anymore, then we're going to have to change out that What's Your Story and drop it and focus more on the day in the life. So take advantage of that. Anyways, hey, thanks for listening. Don't forget the encore tomorrow. Don't forget the website for all the goodies, and make sure you take a guess at the Who's That Voice? So anyways, hey, thanks for watching and listening out there. We see you out there. Thanks.
Thanks for listening to VO Radio and Let's Talk VO.